Hello, friends. Good morning once again. Welcome back to another session of Tea with Dr. Tim. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you for waking up this early to join us. And perhaps you're on your way to work. I hope you're all set, dressed, motivated, fired up, and ready to smash those goals. And for those who haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, and you're new, please do so. And I assure you, by the end of the session today, you will be glad you did, and you will see reasons to keep on coming. And of course, if you're subscribed and you have not hit that notification bell, I mean, those on YouTube, kindly do so. So you can have a prompt as soon as we drop new great content. And for those who have subscribed already, I want to thank you for joining us. For those who have been joining us in previous days, we hope these sessions have been very helpful and insightful. As you set out today, make sure that you want to make something different and unique about today, either in your goal setting, in writing your plan, your to-do list. We discussed some days ago, I suppose it was on this platform, where I spoke about time management. Yes, I think it was on this platform where I spoke about time management, the 4 quadrants of time. And I did talk about what is urgent and important, what is important and not urgent, what is urgent, not important, what is not urgent and important. Additionally, I spoke about, writing the items you're going to do for the day, and of course, include a time in front of it. Extremely crucial, writing the time in front of it. In fact, writing that time is, if not more important than even, writing the item that you want to do. Yesterday, something very, very interesting happened to me when I was going through the day, and then I realized I checked my to-do list, and in fact, I had a short time for nap. It was in my to-do list, but apparently I didn't go for that nap because what even happened? I'm trying to remember what happened that I skipped that. So, but some of the to-do lists I written, because of course I've written my to-do list today. Sometimes I write my to-do even in days ahead. If I remember some things that I won't be able to cover up that day, and I remember I need to do this thing, I just note them down either for Wednesday, 2 p.m., Thursday. It's not just meetings and calendars, but these are actual things that they don't have to do with somebody else. Maybe I'm having a meeting with somebody on Thursday at 2. Not just that, but how your day, the entire day from, let's say, 6 or 6:30, all through to the rest of the day. Even the time you're going to watch social media, just relax yourself. You also note that down. These are very important things. Ensure you want to make this a part of your life. You will realize you'll be very efficient. Please, I don't bet, but I can put money down on this. £1,000. You try this out for 2 weeks. If you don't see, serious efficiency in your work life, let me know. I pay you £1,000. So that's that for that. Now, the subject we've got for today is very important. We've been talking about important stuff in days past, but what we're talking about today is very important. Many people have lost their jobs because of it. Some have lost marriages as a result. People have lost big opportunities, business partners, because they did not manage this very well. It's very important. Parents and children have gone their separate ways, and they've sworn, I would never see you till I die. I will not forgive you till I die because of this. Some careers have been ruined. They're in wreckage, trying to find how to bring the pieces together as a result. And I have also experienced it, and I've lost. There's a practical example I'm going to share in the course of this session to further buttress how I've experienced it in my life. But let me just mention this as a background. Growing up, I used to be known with immense anger. I used to be very angry, and my anger wasn't the normal. They say people get angry, but anger has degrees. Yeah, mine was it was very high. Mine was very high, and what I later realized coming out of it was anger. Some say anger is a minute or a short moment, madness. Not just that, anger shuts down your logical mind. In subsequent days, there are some things I'd like to share here, talking about conscious mind and subconscious mind, your logical mind, your analytical mind, your emotional mind. So we're going to delve a bit more into that in coming days. But just in passing, now your analytical mind, your logical mind, your conscious mind is a mind that looks at your external environment or looks at the situation around you and makes certain decisions. Now, that's the mind that makes comparison. You're having something going on around you, good or bad. Now, your logical mind looks at that thing, weighs it, and looks at the consequences around whatever decision you're going to make as regards to that thing and advises you to make the right decision. For example, you're on the road, you want to cross, and there's a trailer coming. Your logical mind looks at it, tells you, don't go, wait, in fact, step back. Okay? Now you see a house burning. The logical mind, the conscious mind tells you, the house is burning, you need to run out. People fighting, the breaking bottles and all that. The logical mind, if you're in that environment, tells you, run out of that place. That is your logical mind. Now, I'll pick back these same scenarios again and I'll bring anger into it. You're going with your spouse and then you just had an argument in the house. The discussion we're having today implies at place of work, at home, your business, wherever as a human being you are. You've just had a very heated argument. And what's it about? You're telling your wife, she always directs you. She behaves like the boss. She always tells you don't cross. She always tells you don't do this, do that, come here, don't go there. She behaves as though she's the man. And that gets you upset. You just had a heated argument. And she was trying to explain and all that, and even giving that vibe again of the man, of the boss. And you were both going out. So you came out in that anger, both of you, fuming. You got to the front of the road, the side of the road, and then we're going to cross to the bus stop. And then while standing, you're looking this way, she's looking that way, and she tells you, don't cross, the trailer is coming, because she says, don't cross. You want to do just the exact opposite. You push yourself in. Now, that anger short circuits your brain from the danger ahead, but focuses your attention on since she says don't cross, I want to do the exact opposite of what she says, but your brain does not think of the danger ahead. And then you step in. And of course, if it's a two-way traffic, because this trailer is coming, it's close to you, you couldn't see the other side. Maybe a car is trying to overtake that trailer, comes, knocks you down. And I can go on and on with the other two scenarios that I just cited. So anger, very evil thing. Very evil thing. A man has stabbed his wife before just at a moment of anger, not realizing this was the woman I was having sleepless night for months, even years, while we were cutting or crushing on her or dating or something like that. This was the woman I was willing to give out my liver for when she was needing a liver transplant. This was a man that I was begging my father. In fact, I cried and cried. I told my dad, I'm not going to eat if I don't marry this man. But here you are in a pool. You push the man into the pool with the intention he would drown. Anger. No worries. Let's have the deal. £1,000. Now, very important. I'm sorry, I forgot our friends on Facebook. I'm sorry, please. And for our friends on Facebook, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your shares. Yeah, we're seeing some shares on the comments we're sharing. Thank you so much We're very grateful. We trust you're finding our content helpful and useful. Kindly share with your friends and your contacts. We have a WhatsApp channel we've just created so that those who are joining us, those who are part of this family, can see what we're doing at first hand. And of course, if we have some programs and events, we have some pro bonos and stuff like that, you can be particularly part of the first partakers. So please, thank you once again for always being there. Back to the analogy. Now, that's just a summary about anger, and I had to deal with it. Now, particularly, there was one instance that affected me. Now, we usually don't outgrow these things. I don't think so. But what I believe is we develop in them. We get better at them. There are certain things that overcame us years back that we look back and like, if that same thing happens now, I think I should be able to handle it even better. Now, so let me come to the subject, because some people are waiting. This is 11 minutes. You've not mentioned what that thing is. So let's just delve. And that is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is so important that it can save your life, save your marriage, save your professional life, save your face in public. I will define it to you this way. Nobody defines emotional intelligence like I do. I never learned it from anyone. I carved it out myself. And this is it. Emotional intelligence is the sense, the wisdom, the ability to know your strengths, your weaknesses, your abilities, your inabilities, your tendencies, your propensities, your triggers, and so on. Your likes, your dislikes, and so on. And then knowing how to manage and control them. The list could go on, but the key part not to forget is how to manage and control them. I'm just thinking of an example now. You're in the bus. You want to alight from the bus. And you're telling the conductor, like we say in Lagos, I don't know whether they do that in other states in Nigeria. I don't think they do. I think it's Lagos particularly. Owa, owa, owa. Owa means owa means the passenger for that bus stop is in the bus, right? So the passenger is here. Owa. And it's a very, very common term when you've arrived your bus stop. Owa, owa. Or sometimes the driver is driving. This session might be a bit long, but try and just ride with me and enjoy it. The driver might be driving and then say, Lekki phase 1. The passenger in the bus will say, owa, owa, owa. And then might say, aja, aja. And then the passenger in the bus will say, owa, owa, owa. Let me remember another bus stop. I lived along that axis for years, but sadly, I could only remember just a handful of bus stops. Another one I remember is Jakonde, even though I don't know where Jakonde is. You need to tell me this is Jakonde. So, but the driver says Jakonde, say, owa, 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 owa. Another one, Igbo Efon. Yes, that's another bus stop I know. For viewers around the world who don't know these bus stops, please just indulge me. Let me enjoy myself. I remember some of these interesting spots and areas I drove past for years. Igbo Efon, owa, 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 owa. Another one, Lagos Business School, owa, 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 owa. Chevron, yes, Chevron, owa, owa, owa. I'm forgetting these bus stops now. Right. It tells you, or the driver calls the bus stop. Owa, owa, owa. You mentioned that. And then the passenger tells the driver to keep going because he sees another passenger just few steps, few yards ahead. Let's say about 10 yards away from your bus stop. And then the conductor tells the driver to keep going 10 yards ahead after your bus stop. But you've already screamed, oh, wow, 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 in the bus. Now, the driver seems to be driving past your bus stop. And in anger, and these conductors, the way they jump out of the bus, it's like they've been programmed to go against the law of gravity. They jump down from the bus and then they have this way they step back to go against the law of gravity, pulling them forward so that they won't fall. But you in anger, he's come down from the bus. Now, that door part is quite open. And that's dangerous for you because you are angry. And you're shouting at the driver, I told you over, and you're refusing to stop at my bus stop. You are angry, you jump out of the bus while the bus is still in motion. You fall down, you could break your head, break your bones, or even die. Let me continue. Now, it is the intelligence, it is the common sense of knowing your abilities, inabilities, and all of these things, your triggers, and then knowing how to control and manage them. Very important. The inability to manage your trigger or control them makes us do some silly things, some stupid things, some things we look back at and we regret. That's even if we're still alive to be able to look back at those things. And then on the other hand, emotional intelligence is the ability, the wisdom to be able to know other people's, the same list, intelligence, strength, is the intelligence of knowing other people's strengths, weaknesses, triggers and all. The list goes on. And knowing how to, listen to this, manage them. If we're in a class, I would have asked you, what's the difference between the first part and the second part of this definition? The first part, knowing how to manage and control them. The second is knowing how to manage them. You cannot control people, even children. There's so much you can do controlling children, but you can control yourself. You can tell yourself, stop it. And you alone have the power to stop it. You can tell somebody else to stop it and have the power to stop that person. Now, I don't know if this takes so long. Tomorrow we might continue with this session. But the point I'm making is, you know your trigger. You know you're this type. You don't like being talked at. You don't like somebody talking down at you. It turns your head. It gets you mad. You don't like being lied at. And this type, I don't like when somebody lies at me. I don't like it. I don't like it. And well, maybe I might go on giving some examples of how I've been able to manage some of these things when I find myself in such scenarios. But for you, you know yourself, you know your triggers. You don't know what you don't like. You know your likes, you know your dislikes, you know your tendencies. You have a tendency of breaking a bottle on somebody's head when you get to that height. You know your tendency, you could walk out of $1 million contract. When you just found out that somebody had just told a lie to you, you know what your triggers are. You know your propensities are. You know your weaknesses. List it. You can't see money. There's certain things you cannot see. You lose it. You lose it. You know it. And it even applies even in spiritual life too. You know you love fame. You love position. You love when people are talking about you. You love being the person on top there. You're proud for just no reason. You're big-headed for just no reason. Emotional intelligence teaches you. And with all of these things, you've lost several promotions. Your boss can't just talk to you. You react. You talk back at them. And they felt if we promote this one beyond where he is, this one will be looking at, is going to be looking at us eyeball to eyeball. So you should just stay there. Maybe that's why you've not had that promotion. Your colleagues don't get well with you. The assignment I gave you some days ago, get people to write about you. I don't know whether it was on this platform I said that. Get people to write about you and then get your antagonist or someone who doesn't like you to write about you and write about yourself. What is that thing that is quite common that people keep saying is difficult to get along with you? You have this energy you give out, this repelling force that goes with you. Emotional intelligence. You need to know this thing and know how to manage and control them. I've not got time to finish up with the other part and also cite some personal examples and stories. I will leave the session for today at this point, and we will continue tomorrow. But my parting shot to you is this. As you're going out today, look back at times when you've had or you found yourself in some scenarios and situations, and you've handled them badly. What were the repercussions and the consequences? What are your regrets? If you had a chance again to go through that, what would you do differently? Because that's the essence of this session. That's what you're trying to learn. Oh, now I see. This was what I did. This was how I spoke. I fired some staff out of anger some years ago. And I often say that appears to be one of my biggest business mistake. Not losing money, but losing those staff out of anger. Somebody told a lie. I will share some stories tomorrow. Just join us tomorrow. You will hear talk. You will hear talk. Now, it's important you want to look back and compare with now. Mirror them and I see that was where I missed it. That was where I didn't get it right. And what do I do differently? So going to work, take some time to ruminate and reflect on this. And join us tomorrow so we can continue and finish up on this gist. Do have a brilliant and a fabulous day. I am Dr. Tim Atimoe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Be well.